I am happy to be here, part of this I believe first virtual Earth Day Festival. I mean, it only took 50 years to get to this, so that's great. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about OneSTL and regional sustainability through collaboration. Here is me. Like Bob said, I work for EastWest Gateway Council of Governments as a sustainability planner. And before I started as a sustainability planner there, I actually was a volunteer with OneSTL. I went to the Sustainability Summit in 2017, shortly after first moving to St. Louis. And that's how I started to get involved, because I was like, oh, I found my people here in St. Louis. So really great. I got to start working at EastWest Gateway last year. So I've been with the organization for a year now, and really happy to be talking about OneSTL today. So I actually have this image here of this pyramid of numbers, and my colleague Aaron Young put this together, and he actually calls it his pyramid of angst. And I think it's a really great way of kind of starting this presentation out, because it gives a bit of context for the region and why sustainability is really just so necessary everywhere, but here especially. So 4 is the number of pounds of trash per day over the national average that Missourians throw away. 125 is the number of consecutive days in 2019 at St. Louis that the Mississippi River was above flood stage. 172,000 is the estimated number of children that are food insecure in the St. Louis region, and that was in 2019. So I can only imagine in the past month that number has really gone up significantly. 3 million is the number of years that have passed since atmospheric carbon was at the same level as it is now. So these are some of the many reasons that we, and I mean all the individuals, organizations, institutions, municipalities, and many more that are involved with OneSTL are working toward creating a more sustainable future in the region. And that is really, OneSTL is a collaboration to encourage and support greater sustainability within this 8-county St. Louis region. The effort began in 2010 when 11 organizations partnered on a grant to create a regional plan for sustainable development. Plan was created in 2013 and laid out the vision for a prosperous, healthy, and vibrant region. Over 200 people contributed to that development of that plan. And shortly after that, the OneSTL collaborative network was established to give organizations and individuals the opportunity to share ideas, expertise, and resources to meet our regional sustainability goals. And then as a result of the Regional Sustainability Summit that happened in 2017, members of the OneSTL network self-organized into 6 working groups that are focusing on specific targets, which I'm going to talk about after this slide. And I just want to throw it out there that in 2020, we had been planning to do a sustainability summit in November. We're still planning to do that, so that's just to put it on your radar that we're going to be doing a next phase sustainability summit coming up later this year. So now I'm going to jump into talking about the 6 different working groups. The next 6 slides are all focused on showing you what the targets are for these working groups, as well as some of the actions that they have taken. And then at the bottom, you can see there's some of the organizations that are actively engaged or leading these working groups. So we have our first one, biodiversity, and I'm actually not going to read the information on the slides to you, but I am going to share kind of what they're doing in 2020, what they're planning to do this year so biodiversity is focusing on publishing their regional biodiversity atlas on a BiomeSTL website. and populating it with more comprehensive data, telling local biodiversity stories through community profiles. And the next one is energy and emissions. Their goal for 2020 is to complete the regional greenhouse gas inventory, which is the first of its kind in the region, and to continue the city's efforts to continue to support the city's efforts to expand energy efficiency and renewables, including an upcoming commercial solar program, phase 2 of the Grow Solar Residential Group Buy program, which I believe they're also presenting as part of the virtual Earth Day Festival, and other local initiatives that are supporting the greenhouse gas reductions in the region. We also have food access. Now there's a group called the Food Equity Advisory Board that's part of the St. Louis Food Policy Coalition, which makes up this food access group. And this equity board will continue to search for for funding to further their projects, including continuation of the retail audit. And Known and Grown St. Louis will promote and support the work of food producers and retailers who improve our food system and educate residents about sustainable food choices. So these are just some of the programs that are involved in food access in the region. Materials and recycling. This is a very responsive group and is currently putting out messaging regarding COVID-19 and recycling. So St. Louis City Recycles will be presenting, I believe it's April 20th at noon, and they're going to be giving detailed information about recycling tips right now. They also have their Stick with the Six campaign, which is part of the Recycling Responsibly campaign, which basically outlines what are the 6 items that go in your bin, and those items need to be clean and dry before they go in there. They also are right now trying to make sure people know, please don't put face masks, rubber gloves, or needles in your recycling. So those are some of their key messages at the moment, but find out more from their presentation coming up soon. And we also have the Transit-Oriented Development Working Group, and they are this year focused on coordinating and supporting developers and communities interested in exploring opportunities around both Metrolink and Metrobus transit stations. So they're trying to create, really good education opportunities as well as advocacy efforts and hopefully some funding opportunities for TOD projects. And then finally, we have the Water and Green Infrastructure Working Group. And right now they're working with the Biodiversity Group to include watershed data in the BioMSTL Atlas. They also provide technical assistance to communities conducting watershed plans and develop messaging and educational materials for water quality and watershed planning. Something that's really important to realize about these 6 working groups is that they have been a great way for all these organizations that have been working towards these similar goals to actually come together and not be working separately in like silos within the region, but say, hey, we're all trying to do something towards biodiversity, towards better TOD opportunities. And through OneSTL's working groups, they have been able to share information and they meet on a regular basis. Some meet monthly, some meet quarterly. And then Aaron Young and I, we are part of all the working groups and are able to help collaborate between them. So if we find opportunities where, hey, even though you're working in water, there's a relationship with transit-oriented development. There's, finding these opportunities. And so yeah, it's a really great way for them to all come together and network together. So speaking of coming together and networking, we have a monthly sustainability lab, and it's the last Tuesday of each month. And previously we had been meeting at the T-Rex in downtown. They are a partner of ours, and they give us a space each month to hold these events. And the lab really is a collaboration hub where like those working on learning about and advocating for sustainability meet and share their successes, lessons, and challenges in achieving our shared regional sustainability goals. And we've had some fantastic content, people come and presenting about recycling education, electrical vehicle infrastructure. We did an Energy 101 info session that Renew Missouri put together. And then also we have recently had an environmental justice panel of experts. So a lot of diverse content. It's just a great way to meet people working in sustainability and also learn about what's going on in the region. And we do have 3 locations. Prior to the COVID-19, we were meeting at T-Rex, but also it's expanded to Alton, and they were meeting at the Old Bakery Brewery. And there's also the St. Peter's, Missouri location at the library. And so once we get going again, we still have these 3 locations. But currently we're doing a virtual sustainability lab. We had one last month, and we'll have again in April on the 28th at 3:45 p.m. A virtual lab. And we're going to be talking about building food system resilience during and after COVID-19. And that will be presented by Known and Grown Jen DeRose and Ray Miller, both from the Missouri Coalition for the Environment. So it should be really great. And if you want to take part or join us, you can find more information on our website, onestl.org, or you can check us out on Facebook at OneSTL. And yeah, just a little plug for our old clunky website that we love. Has lots of great information on there. You can see what we're up to, what's going on. We've got, the labs, details about what those labs are, how to access them. We also just, if you go to the Get Involved tab, you can learn about all the working groups, what they're up to, and lots of different resources available on there. And finally, we have our digital socializing, hashtag OneSTL. And we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. These are our handles. Of course, they're different on each platform, which is really handy. And, we post different content on there every day. We've got, information from all the different working groups. So materials Mondays, we've got transit-oriented development Tuesdays, water Wednesdays, biodiversity Thursdays, food access Fridays, and energy saving Saturdays. So you can check us out each day, all except Sunday, where we take a break from from social media. So yeah, it's there. I really am so grateful that we got to present, or I got to present today as part of the Earth Day 365 Earth Day Festival. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now. I know there were some comments that were coming in during the presentation, so I know if, Bob, if you want to share any of those with me, or if people want to just ask me directly, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Gina. I was just trying to type in the chat just to remind people that if they had questions that they could put them in the chat window and we'd read those. And I just rewrote for some of the people that came in a little bit late that the 6 different working groups that are active for the regional sustainability plan.
Awesome.
So I was just trying to put some of that stuff in there. It looks like a good group of people have tuned in. So this has been great. Let us know if you have any questions for Gina and the sustainability plan. Otherwise, please go back to our virtual Earth Day website and check out all the other upcoming presentations and the exhibitors and their experience areas. A click says 1,000 thank yous for every exhibitor. We love Google Analytics. So that's what I've got. I'm not seeing anything in the chat window at this point.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. And if people, want to learn more about getting involved with us, how to volunteer or how to, more information about one of the labs coming up, sustainability labs coming up, please feel free to shoot me an email. And thanks so much for tuning in.